So the Wisconsin primary was scheduled to take place tomorrow, and at the last minute, the governor, Tony Evers, he signed an executive order to postpone the primary until June 9th. And this is despite all of the stupid advice from Joe Biden, who up until a few days ago was still telling people to go out and vote. Yep, just go out and vote, even though his voter base is made up primarily of elderly voters who are particularly at risk from coronavirus. He doesn't care.
I listened to the scientists. A convention having tens of thousands of people in one arena is very different than having people walk into a polling booth with accurate spacing to 6 to 10 feet apart, one at a time, going in and have machines scrubbed down. But I do think there are going to be a lot more. I think you could hold the election as well, dealing with mail-in ballots and same-day registration. I mean, there's a lot of things that can be done. That's for the Wisconsin courts and folks to decide. But I think it's possible to do both, to have both more mail-in ballots. People, and today is the last day, I guess, till 5 o'clock to ask for one. It was an hour time difference from where I am in Wisconsin. And I think it could be done based on what I've been hearing from the news and what I understand the governor and others are saying. But that's for them to decide.
Did you hear that first line that he said? I listen to the scientists. Wow. All right, let's put that to the test, shall we? Matter of fact, I think we have a scientist in the room right now. Our chief scientist, Claudia, says hell to the no. I don't think we can get any clearer than that. If we check the CDC guidelines, avoid close contact, put distance between yourself and other people. Yeah, but what's the distance? 6 feet? That's it? Let's take the CDC at their word. They're saying you should keep a distance of at least 6 feet. I fucking loathe the imperial system. I don't even know what 6 feet are, okay? So I'm going to say 1 meter. They're saying keep a distance of 1 meter between you and other people. How are you supposed to do that at a crowded polling station? Because I can show you video after video after video, a plethora of examples where people are standing, they're crammed together like sardines. It's especially egregious when you engage in voter suppression, the DNC, and then you have people of color having to either, stand and file at universities, crammed together, or they just don't go to vote, right? They just stay at home because you close their polling station. And it always seems to happen in areas where people of color live the most. Isn't that a bit weird? But nonetheless, let's go back to the science. This is beyond irresponsible. These are not guidelines. This is a joke. Okay? No one is obeying them. Unless you have strong leadership, you have strict rules coming from all of the governors, all of the states, and or the presidency, you're not going to mitigate the problem. And that's why America, the US, has more infections than any other country. Well done. But it's okay, right? Because Jared Kushner and Donald Trump can make some money selling medical equipment that should have gone to hospitals and states to people that don't even live in America to make a quick buck. So all's well. Again, what do you do if the lines are crowded? And moreover, more importantly, what is one to do when we cannot scrub these voting machines down? Because we saw multiple cases of this where polling stations, there were no cleaning supplies. And when they were calling for help, for advice from higher ups, no word on if they're going to get any. This is incompetence. This is criminally negligent. Illinois and Arizona and Florida. We saw many, many, many cases of polling stations. They didn't have the right ballots. They didn't have cleaning supplies. Just a goddamn mess. So you didn't fix that problem. You've provided no guarantee that this will be any better. And even then, it's still irresponsible. You lying dog-faced pony soldier. So while the Wisconsin primary has been delayed, we still don't know about all the other remaining states. And at the same time, the DNC convention has been postponed. Yes, it will no longer take place in July. It's going to take place 3.5 weeks later in August. I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. But the broader point that I want to communicate to you is, guess who pushed for this postponement? So it's slated to begin on August 17, a week before the Republicans convention, which Donald Trump said, by the way, he will not cancel. The decision comes after former Vice President Joe Biden, the Democratic presidential frontrunner, said the convention would have to be postponed at least until August. And now pay attention to this blatant hypocrisy from Joe Biden. He's fully aware of what he's doing because he's saying that come November, if the pandemic is still here, then we can maybe explore safer methods of voting, like drive-through voting and things like that. Well, why don't you do that now? Don't you care about the safety of your voters? No. He cares about winning the primary and winning the nomination, even if it costs his voters their lives and their health. And then once he gets the nomination, then maybe then we'll think of these safer methods. Unbelievable.
God forbid we're still dealing with this in November. God forbid we're dealing with some kind of a regional or climate rebound of this in November. Do you think it's incumbent upon the secretaries of state in all 50 states to ensure this is the one election with secure remote voting possibility?
Yes, I think they should be doing that now. Planning on it. I noticed, the House talked about some of this, and the president said, well, if we did what the House wanted, we'd ensure no Republican ever get elected. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And so this is about making sure that we're able to conduct our democracy while we're dealing with a pandemic. We can do both. It may mean a difference in the way we do it. It may mean that social distancing doesn't get it done. It may mean that you have a circumstance where you have drive-in voting, literally. You pull up and you vote. There's a lot of ways to do it, but we should be talking about it now.
Okay, so I played you this clip, and I wanted to highlight the hypocrisy. Right, so see, we got to see how it pans out, and maybe social distancing won't suffice, and we'll have to find another way. Okay, then what about Wisconsin? It's worse now. If it's supposedly going to blow over, by your logic, shouldn't you be especially careful now when it's still here? And look how the DNC is already clearly in bed with the Biden campaign. I mean, they're saying it in the article that they only postponed it because Joe Biden said so. The DNC taking orders from a Democratic nominee. Where have I seen that before? So Joe Biden is an idiot. He's an idiot at best, right? But the reality is that he's reckless, and his voter base is especially at risk. And he's just, whatever, go and die. Just vote for me. That's what counts, okay? What do you expect from a guy who killed 1 million Iraqis? What do you expect? You think this guy has a conscience? This is from Ryan Grimm from The Intercept. A third Florida poll worker tests positive. They were showing no symptoms on election day, got sick 6 days later. The 360 people who voted at that precinct are being warned now. They were told by Joe Biden and Simone Sanders that it was safe to vote. And do you think anyone is going to hold them accountable? Do you think anything is going to happen to them? Do you think they're even going to be asked about it? Do you think they'll even be asked about it? Of course not. Never. So Joe Biden said that, I'd be open to mail-in ballots and whatever. But of course, he doesn't do anything to, get that done. When he wants, he can get the Democratic primary postponed. Oh, sure. But he's not going to make any effort for, mail-in ballots because that takes too much work. And we don't actually want people to vote, do we? So afterwards, they were also asking Trump what he thinks about mail-in ballots. And the guy's just like, I think people cheat. That's why you need a voter ID. And then the CDC, they announced that all Americans should wear masks. And this is what Trump had to say about that.
The CDC is advising the use of non-medical cloth face covering as an additional voluntary public health measure. So it's voluntary. You don't have to do it. They suggest it for a period of time, but this is voluntary. I'm feeling good. I just don't want to be somehow sitting in the Oval Office behind that beautiful Resolute desk, the great Resolute desk. I think wearing a face mask as I greet presidents, prime ministers, dictators, kings, queens, I don't know, somehow I don't see it for myself. I just maybe I'll change my mind, but
man, this guy is like, he's like a character out of some movie. Really. I just don't see myself greeting presidents, dictators, kings, queens. What are you talking about? What are you talking? He sounds like he's a 12-year-old in English class giving some presentation. Like,